Hey there, players of all classes. I'm currently running some tests for the thank you stream for March. You actually might see the thank you stream before this video comes out. But right now, I'm running some lighting tests. As you can see, this lighting is not perfect. But don't worry, it's not what we're actually going to be looking at. That being said, I want to go through something that I've had lying around for literal years, and I just haven't gotten the time to unbox it. And I'm like, why? Why don't I just do it now? And it's a perfect test of the setup. You can actually see one of the cameras back there, but I will be swapping through them on the fly. There's actually a camera right behind me as well. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Skinny Minis Kickstarter 2, which I have had forever. And I've been like, oh, I want to do a video where I do all the pieces. And then when I started that idea, when that idea came to me, I started taking pieces out of what I got in the Kickstarter. And I'm like, oh, this is a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. Now I have to wait. But I'm still using those Skinny Minis. So no, I might as well just do it now. And then I could put all these Skinny Minis away and I can start using them instead of just having them sit downstairs in my den collecting dust. Okay, so if you've never done a Skinny Minis or a Dungeon in a Box Kickstarter, they love to do this thing where they break things down into credits, and then you have to do a whole bunch of extra math, and it's always a hassle. And on the last thing that they did, the Stone Kingdoms, they made us do all the math for the credits, and then they just took the system away. They were like, oh, it doesn't work. And we were like, yeah, we could have told you that, so just make it simple. But all the sets that I got with Skinny Minis Kickstarter 2 are as follows. Animated Constructs, Artificer Heroes, Astral Reavers, Bandits, Clear Bases, 1-inch bases, Clear Bases, 3-inch bases, Clear Bases, 2-inch bases, Catapult, Binder Sheets, 5-pack Black XL Combo, Cultists, Elemental Flying Stands, Goliath Combat Heroes, Goliath Spellcaster Heroes, Human Combat Heroes, Kickstarter 2 Freebies, Lizardfolk Heroes, we're not done, Binder Sheets 5-pack Black Medium, Pirates, Tavern Terrain, Townsfolk 2, Wild Shapes, Normal Animals, XL Astral Behemoth, XL Cloud Giant, XL Deep Worm, XL Demon Lord, XL Dragon Turtle, and finally, XL Frost Giant. That was a lot. We're going to jump to the camera right behind me, and I'm just going to show you an overview of what everything that you can get in this Kickstarter. But now, all of these items are available through Skinny Minis. You can go get all the pieces here from Skinny Minis piecemeal if you want them. So I'm just going to show you everything, and then we're going to take them to a different camera where we can actually zoom in and I can show you what they really look like. Generally speaking, when you get Skinny Mini stuff, they come in a pretty cool box. That's a nice little fold-up treasure chest, and all of your stuff comes in here unless it's too big. The Kickstarter freebies were actually too big, so they came separately. They're in a totally different container. And then you also get binder packs if you need them because you want to store your Skinny Minis. The cool thing about Skinny Minis, and generally speaking any kind of acrylic mini, is that you get so much more of them for the price that you would pay for a regular plastic mini. And they're easy to store, so why wouldn't you do that? A great way to store your minis is in the binder sheets, because then they're on display. You just flip through the book. You're like, oh, yeah, this is what I'll do. Bam, I need somebody like this. You put all your guys seemingly together in the same general area, and you're like, oh, I can look through the people that look the same. Bam, that's what we're going to do. And that's essentially what I'm going to do here. So we'll jump over to the third camera. Make sure that's out. That is the better zoom in, the better look camera. What do we got over here? We have the Skinny Minis box, and we're just going to go through all the stuff in the Skinny Minis box. So what are we going to start with? We're going to start with the Tavern Terrain. They are out of order. That's weird. It's Tavern Terrain 1. Look, you have your whole little tables. You just put the little stand in them. Bam, they stand up. That's great. This is Tavern Terrain 2 out of 3. We're going to put them in order. Whoop. Stand up. Now you have food and stuff all over your area. This is great. This will help flesh out any little area, and because of the way these things are set up, you have your stools, you have your tables. They'll be 3D for your environment. Next up, we have the Catapult, which I was super excited about, not realizing that I would then purchase a whole bunch of plastic and other toys that are also catapults. But at the time, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. This one is upside down. This is actually Siege Weapon Catapult version 7, meaning they went through a lot of iterations, but there's even different things you can throw out of the catapult. So you have fireballs, you have rock balls, you have hell balls, and you have a crystal ball. Well, not the kind that you would use to divine the future, but it's still a crystal ball. Also, hear me out. If you ever want to see me build some of these and just show them off, I will do that. I don't mind that at all. These are my elemental flying stands. Basically, you can make now a water cylinder and put someone on top of it. You can make a fire cylinder and put someone on top of it. A storm cylinder. This is cool. This is super cool and flavorful. The bases. So I'm grabbing, these are 3-inch, so these are huge, not large. Large would be 2-inch. These are the Skinny Mini bases. These are version 2 Skinny Mini bases. So the original Skinny Mini bases often had 3 slits on them, and if you so much as put a mini in them at like a millimeter off the correct space, they would just shatter. So I know from getting a whole bunch of Skinny Mini bases that these particular bases, the Skinny Mini version 2 bases, so much less prone to shattering. Very pleased with these. While these are clear bases, and all the ones I got with this Kickstarter were clear, you can also get bases of other colors, and sometimes different shapes, sometimes. The pack of huge bases came with 4 total, so you had 2 in each set. And then I got a ton of medium-sized bases, but you can use them for medium or small or tiny creatures. It's all realistically the same. They come on sheets of 20, so I got 40 medium bases. That's going to cover a lot of my bases. And then large bases, which would be the 2-inch ones that we were talking about before, you get 6 on the sheet, and it came with 2. So now I have 12 more large bases. Also, the cool thing about these is because they're acrylic, you can actually write dry erase on them and then erase it. So like if you had 6 creatures out that were all using this one Skinny Mini base that was clear, you could just be like squeaky 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 and write 1 through 6, or write like, oh, this is the boss, that kind of thing, right on the base for the mini so everyone can see it. And now we get into the fun stuff. Look at this. This is wild shapes or normal animals. So we've got, oops, that's backwards. We've got alligators, bats, bears, cats, rats, hawks, a stag, I'm guessing. Oh, a dire badger, a lion, a big ol' snake. It's probably like a dire snake or something. A big scary spider, a horse, and a wolf. Exciting. And if you didn't notice, the cool thing about the flying creatures is that on their bases, they'll actually be up high, like medium-sized creatures. So they won't be on the floor because, yeah, they're supposed to be flying. Next up, we have the Artificers. So one thing Skinny Mini does is they'll pick like a class. Oh, they both have their own. Yeah, they all have their own baggies. Okay, well, we're going to open them so you can see them without any of the glare. When they pick a class, they'll be like, oh, human versions of Artificers. Oh, catfolk versions of Artificers. Oh, demonling versions of Artificers. Obviously they mean tieflings, but sometimes you can't say those things, so you just gotta get close. Half-elf versions, dwarf-elf versions, half-orc versions. But wait, there's more, because there's 2 things of Artificers. You got Dragonkin, this is your Dragonborn. Lizardfolk, Angelborn, those will be your Aasimar. Elves, gnomes, and halflings. Generally speaking, if you buy like a class pack from Skinny Minis, this is the way that it will be broken down. It will be a male and female presenting version of most of the usual races, the usual suspects for that class. Cool thing about Skinny Minis is, I haven't picked them up backwards yet, they do have fronts and backs. Even though 5e by default doesn't use facing, it's still cool to have the front and the back of a mini, okay? It's so cool. Like, you don't have to do a lot extra, and to be honest, it would make sense to put the front and the back of a mini on the art. That's just a little pet peeve of mine. Sometimes you'll see like the set name and then what sheet that is, because at the beginning, Skinny Minis didn't put the sheet names on the sheets, which was annoying for me, but some people would have been okay with that. But then they'll have like V3, meaning there's been multiple iterations of just this set. They've been trying to fix things along the way, which is cool to see. You don't see a lot of people try to fix their mistakes as they go. In addition to getting a class set, you can also get a race set from Skinny Minis or Dungeon in a Box. So this one happens to be Goliath Heroes. Spellcasters. So it's all different Goliaths, but in different classes. So you have your sorcerers down here, you got your warlocks, you got your druids, you got your wizards, you got your bards, and you got your clerics. All Goliaths. And their front and their back art. And then in addition, I also picked up Goliath's Combat Heroes. So you get 6 more classes full of Goliaths, again with a male and a female presenting. So you have your monks, you have your rangers, you have your rogues, you have your paladins, you have your fighters, and you have your barbarian. We might actually change. I'm going to talk to the Lumber King. We might start using this for his Goliath, because we've been using a non-Goliath mini for the longest time. Maybe it's time he got an upgrade. Which is originally why I bought the Goliath sets. There's also probably going to be some Goliath-related stuff happening later on in the campaign. Next up, I grabbed a Lizardfolk set, because there are some lizards in my campaign that my party has interacted with. One of them also happens to be a monk, and you'll see that there's a Lizardfolk monk in here. But you have Lizardfolks. This is a V2 set, so there were some changes. But you have a barbarian, you have a monk, you have a cleric, you have a fighter. You have a sorcerer. That dude's on fire. He's on fire. Warlock, wizard. Whoop. Yep. Druid, bard, rogue, paladin, ranger. I will also say that it's cool that they're getting better where when they put their sheets out, they've got people upside down and right side up on the same sheet so they can fit them all together. And they're even like writing the names of the creatures and what have you on them in areas where there's space instead of like wasting space on the sheets. They're all blah blah bam. And let's face it, the vast majority of you are not going to pop one of these guys out and then put them back in, but it's cool that you have the option to, because you can always find their space again. I will say though, once you start popping a whole bunch of them out, occasionally, like near where the base is, you can see like little tiny bits and bobs that are there, and those will reduce the structural integrity of the sheet as a whole. So getting those binder sheets can be extremely beneficial, because you may crack this sheet and not be able to put your minis back in. Next up, we've got everybody's favorite enemies to murder because they're absolute weirdos. You've got a set of cultists. And this is more than just regular cultists. It's got some weird darkspawn stuff in it too. Some kind of crazy aberrations. These are like Faerun on crack. Calm down, dudes. Oh yeah, I want to follow the Phat cultist into battle. That's what I want to do. Your typical like, I murder people. Listen, every TTRPG has cultists somewhere. You're kidding yourself if you think that's not true. Next up, we've got animated constructs, which I should have probably realized before I went on a hunt to find a construct for something that will happen in my campaign. Earlier, I had this here, and I was too stupid to realize that I have already bought them, and I'm ready to go. Like, woohoo! You got animated weapons, you got tons of golems, you got the Rug of Smothering. Let's go! Actually, it's probably a flying carpet, but the way this guy has hands, and he looks creepy, he's definitely ready to smother somebody. Plenty of golems, you got your robot worm, all that jazz. Like an animated armor, but a ghost in there. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff, if I do say so myself. And again, they all have backs. Oh, it's actually really cool that this Robo Naga thing has a skull on the back of its head. I would even be like, yo, if my players figure it out, that's a weak point, and you can called shot hit that if you want to try to strike it with disadvantage. Next up, we have the Yarhar Fiddle-Dee-Dees. These are the pirates. Oh, it's cool. It's a Baxi pirate. I wasn't expecting that. Of course, there has to be a parrot included with ye old pirates. I like this. I like all of this. Cool that the parrot is actually different colors front and back. I wasn't expecting that. But there's even like little details, like he's got a hole in his jacket that you wouldn't be able to see if you only had his front art. Sorry, I'm realizing that there's a reflection from the chandelier. Next up, we have the Astral Reavers. So, basically, you have Supreme Commander, Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Knight 1. I don't figure out what his words are. Warrior 3, Knight 2, Warrior 4, Knight 3, Spellcaster 2, Spellcaster 1, Elite 2, Elite 1. These are like your Githyanki. Right? Githyanki are the ones who fight people like Lae'zel, and Githzerai are the psychic ones. I think that's true. I'm pretty sure that's true. But yeah, Astral Reavers, if you want some more greenskins that may or may not be less hostile than your typical greenskins. Next up we have Bandits, because everybody needs people to fight in their campaign. Sorry, my hand was over them. I kind of like this one-eyed bandit with the this one-eyed bandit with the dwarven helmet and shield. You don't usually see dwarf bandits. Usually they're humans, because we just assume that all the bad people are humans, because that's who we are as a people. Next up we have Townsfolk 2. What does that mean? There's a Townsfolk 1? Not in here. There might have been a Townsfolk 1, and I probably already have it, because I do have a lot of skinny minis. But here are just some random folks that you can slide into your campaign. You can even have an executioner and someone in the stocks. Eh? It happens. Got your regular people. That's a cool cloak that you wouldn't see if you didn't see their backside. That's cool. I haven't seen anyone with a giant badonkadonk, though. That you also wouldn't see if the art only had their back, or only had their front. Next up we have, which actually might be one of the last sets I'm coming across, humans, combat heroes, because you always need more humans. You got rogues, you got rangers, you got barbarians, you got fighters, you got monks, you got paladins. These are all your humans. And again, if you buy a set with classes, it almost always has the male and female presenting characters, which is cool because you never know which one you're going to need, really. And it's good to just not assume that everybody's a dude, which I feel like is the baseline assumption when you're playing a TTRPG, that like every character that isn't outwardly described is a dude. I don't know why. Maybe that's just me. This is the Astral Behemoth. Now this is an XL. This is like a huge or a gargantuan creature. So you could probably put this guy in a huge. But you could tell your players, like, yo, no, this dude is gargantuan. This is a big, big boy. Because this is a big boy. Imagine this guy just barreling down after you. Oh, no! Next up, we have a deep worm. Another one. This is like an XL skinny mini. So probably you could get a gargantuan base, but I don't think they make gargantuan bases. So you can put him on a huge and then say like, hey, no, he's pretty big, because look at him, he's pretty big. This thing coming after you, this is terrifying. This guy's worse than a regular purple worm, because I'm pretty sure they don't have the mouth tentacles, man. They just have the gaping maw of destruction. We are almost through everything in the box. There's only a few more, and they're all XLs. So next up we have the Cloud Giant. Honestly, the Cloud Giant here makes me feel like this, whoever did the art for this particular guy is someone who worked on Glory of the Giants, because like this is the way this is a real spot on depiction of how these guys are usually drawn. And it's gorgeous. Also, that's a big lady. That's just a big woman. Don't worry, we're not done with giants, because now we have everybody's absolute favorite, the Frost Giant. Look at this specimen. This is a big, big boy. Look at him. He's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Did I tilt his butt up as I said gorgeous for a reason? Maybe. Next up, there's 2 left in this box now. We've got the Demon Lord of Undeath. Of Undead. Look at him. He's gonna mess you up. This is a big, scary dude. He's like not even got a flesh face. He's like on fire. Or maybe he's breathing fire. I'm dumb. This is not a guy you want to fight. he may be the end of your campaign. This is a good campaign ender, man. Like, look at this dude. He's disgusting. He's got weird back flesh that forms into his wings. He's so big, I'm having trouble keeping him on the camera and making him visible because of this stupid reflection. I hate chandeliers. I don't know if that's been apparent in like the 10 years since I've lived here-ish. I hate chandeliers. They mess up everything, y'all. And the final item in the box is the XL Dragon Turtle. Because everybody loves a turtle that is so big it can be its own island. This is 100% a gargantuan dude. Like, don't even get it twisted. This guy could be his own landmass. He's a thick boy. This one looks particularly angry, but generally speaking, dragon turtles are pretty chill. And I'm not just saying that because of the dragon turtle in Avatar. I'm saying in general, they're pretty chill. So now that we're done with what was in the box, I want to show you guys the Skinny Mini binder pages. Now, as you can see, and as you may have guessed, they are not regular paper sized. So you will need a specialty size binder to put them in, like that's smaller than normal. But if you get the medium one, ooh, that smells like it just came from a China factory. Woo! That is stinky. That's a stinky boy. The medium pack comes with 5 sheets. Oh, there's papers in between the sheets. Okay. I mean, these I wasn't really worried about getting messed up, but thank you. You didn't have to do that. You get 5 sheets. They hold 4, 8, 12 a page, which is okay. It's not like the most, but it's okay. This is the medium size sheets, which means you can fit your tiny creatures, your medium creatures, your small creatures into these slots. And that's most of the NPCs and player characters, so they'll fit into one of these pages. This holds 60, and as you may have guessed, I had way more than 60 minis. So I'll probably need more sheets at some point. I don't even have enough sheets for the current amount of skinny minis that I have from other sources. But I bought these, and like these have been sitting here for so long, still in the package, and I was like, no, I have to wait for the perfect time. Listen, I'm gonna tell you as a professional YouTuber, don't wait till the perfect time, okay? Perfect is something that will probably never come, so go out and do it, man. This has been sitting downstairs for years. I could have used these. I have minis waiting to get put in a home and to get a nice binder for, okay? Just do it. Just do it. Then we have the large sheets. And now the large sheets for skinny minis aren't just for large creatures. They have actually 2 different sized pockets in them. So the large size binder pages, yep, that's paper there, come with like 2 large slots, and then they have 1 huge or gargantuan slot, and that's just the way they're set up. And this one comes with 5 sheets. I don't know if you still buy them in pages of 5 or not, but this means that you'll get 5 huge or gargantuan slots and 10 large slots. Now, granted, the skinny minis, like what they're representing, may not actually fit exactly in one of these 2. Like I have medium minis that don't fit in the medium sleeves in the medium pages because of like how bulky they are. So sometimes you end up putting a medium, what would be normally a medium creature, in like a large slot. And that's fine. That happens. Now, finally, we come to the Kickstarter freebies, which is essentially all the stretch goals. In this package, we have... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Hey, you're going the wrong way. You get... Let me move this away so you can actually see what's going on. You have a Spellcaster. You have a bug mount. And a lot of the things that Skinny Minis do when there's a mount, there's often like a slot where you can put somebody in onto the actual mount. But there's also sometimes slots on the sides of a creature so that you can give it a real full 3D kind of view, because it will have parts that go out left and right. You got a war elephant, you got like a goo tree ant, I don't know, some walls so you can make like a garrison. and this adorable sword and board cat. Then page 2, you have this sick ass crystal golem. Look at him. He's so cool. You got like an orc leader up here. You got another animal folk. This guy's a mouseketeer. You have an undead giant. What is your name? You're an Arcanoloth. The really smart devils. A gift monk of some kind, probably. What else do we got? We got flame salamander? Question mark? I don't know what this guy's called, but I do know what this guy's called because I've used him before. Maybe just a regular salamander. I think it's just a regular salamander because frost salamander is the specific one. You got a guy you can use as a grung. I freaking love grungs. Do you have a snowy owl bear? You have part of a mind flayer. That's disgusting. Don't like that. That's probably a Dow, so an earth genie. You got snake guy. You got the Nothic if you're running Lost Mines of Phandelver. And of course, the T-Rex. And this, I believe, is not a spectator. I think it is a spectator because it only has 4 extra eyeballs. It's not a beholder yet. And it's not a watcher. A watcher is just 1 eye. Whew. This one is pretty crazy. This is just tusks that you can put in the ground. If you like put them each in one stand, and then you can basically build one of those. You know how you see in every desert themed movie and game, there's always a huge rib cage that people got to walk through. That's what these are for. You got a crawling hand. You got a nightmare, an undead horse. You got this weird wizard octopus dude. And then some creepy little tree children. Definitely face spirits that I don't want to have to deal with. And then finally, we have a goblin in a mech suit, which you always need. This guy looks like a weird kind of crystal pseudo-dragon. You got a demon guy. You got a panda owlbear. You got some mushroom kin, which I'm sure Fist will kill. You have a tree construct for those evil druids. I was just talking to DM Shin about evil druids, actually. And then finally, you've got what I can only describe as Fin Fang Foom on drugs, which is this guy. And of course, you have their fronts and their backs, because that's the way it is with all Skinny Minis. And that was everything that I got in the Kickstarter for Skinny Mini 2s, because I love minis, and I love minis that I can put on display, and that I can just be like, yo, I need a mini right now. Where can I go to get minis? You see me just taking them all out. I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm taking them all out again after I just arranged them so nicely. The reason I'm doing that is that I realized while filming this, I forgot to take a picture. I forgot to take a thumbnail, because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I have all of these guys out here now. And now that I've gone through them, I can finally go, hey, it's time for me to put these guys away and actually start using them. Instead of just being like, oh, I don't want to open them without showing them to you guys first. Oh no. No, stop that. I'm going to open them all. I'm going to put them away in their binders. I'm going to have a good time. And so are you. I hope all of you out there, if this helped you, like sold you on a Skinny Minis purchase, let me know. If you have other minis that you prefer, also let me know. Because I love trying new minis. I love collecting minis. I love showing off minis. I just love having everything on hand so I don't have to make anything. Because let's face it, we all get lazy sometimes. And as the DM, I have tons of other things to be doing rather than making minis. So if someone can give me stuff that will just make my gameplay experience easier and more fun, thank you. I will take it. But if you players of all classes like what you saw, leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, sub. And I will see you in the next one. Also, if you are feeling super generous and you are able, I will never force you to do this. You can support me in more ways than just hitting the buttons by becoming a member of this YouTube channel right here. You can also become a member on Patreon. You get much the same rewards, except if you're already watching my videos, you might as well become a member here, because in addition to all the regular rewards, like getting access to my D&D homebrew repository, which contains all the things that I would let people use in a campaign of mine, within reason. Gotta put that within reason out there. And my TTRPG BGM list. You may not have the same exact musical library as me, but YouTube is a powerful tool. Spotify is a powerful tool. I have a list of all the songs, when I think they would be good to play, that kind of things. You'll get access to that. You'll also get access to video notes. But YouTube members specifically get early access to my videos. So like this video is going to go up way before it gets released to the general public. You can watch it, and then you can come on the Discord and talk to me about it. And in addition, you can also use my eBay affiliate link or my Amazon affiliate link, or buy something from the Redbubble store. Help me out. Get cool stuff for yourself. Those are both admirable, and I thank you so much if you do it, choices. But again, not forcing anyone to do that. You just coming and hanging out is enough for me. Thank you, everyone.